Hello and welcome to Tonic Studios. I'm Leo, I'm here today with Alison and we're going to introduce you to our brand new showcase, the Heart and Hexagon Split Box. We have a brand new showcase for you today and it is a lovely one for the start of the year. First showcase of the year.
It is.
2023. Let's go. We're starting strong with this beautiful Heart and Hexagon Split Box. So you're going to get your dies in your wallet. So we have a wallet with a magnet.
So we've got one die set and the two boxes.
2 styles of boxes, yeah, exactly.
It is beautiful.
And there are a lot of dies in here. You're getting 51 dies in this
That
set.
is a humongous amount. You get your magnetic sheet with it. I'll pop that to one side.
Now apparently we have to open this very carefully because this is our photography sample and it has to go back, I've been told, okay.
So I better do this gently.
Or if we don't, we'll just have another one out of stock.
Yes. Okay. I'll try and do it very gently. You can see that everything gets moved around the building here and everything is done in stages. So, right, let's turn it over. So this is your die set. So it's pretty complex looking at this, but if I move the dies out the way, you have an A4 sheet of instructions for each box. Once you've got a grip with one, then the other one just sails along, I think.
Exactly. They're both constructed in a very similar way.
Absolutely.
So yeah, once you've figured one out, the other one will make perfect sense.
Of course it will.
Of course it will.
But there's some lovely patterns in here. There's look, you've got a little lock and key for your memory box.
Yeah,
that's
definitely
like a little padlock rather, not a lock. But your key is over here. You've got some nice little corners here as well. If I take this off, that would make lovely hinges on a memory book.
It would, yeah.
As well as this box, you know. Going apart from this box.
And we always say this, you know, so the dies obviously are designed to make a heart box and a hexagon box, but there's also dies in here that you can use for so many other things. All of your tags you can use elsewhere. Your pattern panels, don't forget there's other things that you can use pattern panels for as well.
Yeah.
Card making on other boxes, in your scrapbooking, in your memory books, all of that kind of thing.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere. You know, you've invested in this, so make the most of it. Use it wherever you can. Go back through your old dies, look at what you've got, what will go with it. Because they will, won't they?
One of the things I really like about this die set as well, so looking at the actual dies, you'll see the top section is mostly for your hexagon box and the bottom section is for your heart-shaped box as well. So that helps to keep the dies in your mind nice and sort of clear too.
It does.
When you're first looking at them. Because it looks like a lot of dies to start off with, but if you think about it in, you know, if you're making a hexagon box, you'll need to look at this top half.
You could even cut the acetate,
if you wanted to, yeah.
Or you put one on one side of your magnetic sheet and you put the other on the other side of your magnetic sheet.
Yeah.
It is beautiful though. Absolutely gorgeous. I mean, the panelling. I'm going to bring these in first. Look at the panelling on the side. They are gorgeous. I mean, these are panels that would sit down the side of a card, around a frame.
Yep.
These are going to be used and used and used.
You could use them to edge a pocket in a memory book or something like that.
Yes, you could.
Well.
You could.
Be really nice.
I can't wait to see what you do with these.
Yeah, don't forget, do tag us in your makes once you have this set at home and start creating with it. I can't wait to see what you've done. Shall we have a look at some of the samples that our lovely design team
But some of these patterns are very mannish as well.
They are.
Very
so
masculine.
I know a lot of people say they struggle making projects for the men in their lives or the less girly women in their lives as well.
Yes.
We shouldn't, you know, just less girly patterns.
Yeah.
So the heart ones are a bit more.
They are a little
intricate.
bit more girly. You know, if I bring in the two patterns, so this is your first heart box, and you look at the pattern. Oh, let's go a bit further forward. It's not, depending on what colour you put on there, mind. I think you could make that masculine.
You could.
And turn that around. Look at that. That is gorgeous. So you've got your lock, you've got your key. So, so pretty. But then if I bring this one in, this is showing all the dies. Look at that gorgeous bit of paper piecing on there. Doesn't that make you drool?
Who on earth would be silly enough to do that?
Well, I don't know, but this one wasn't me.
I know, it was me.
I knew it was.
Paper pieced around a corner as well.
You did.
Curved edge.
You did.
I wouldn't recommend.
But look at your lock and key on the bottom. Just so pretty. Very, very pretty.
I love that you've got lots of different little closures to use in this as well. So there's a couple of different options.
Absolutely. Let me just show you a few more and then we'll open one then. So again, look at this with your pattern papers. You know, your boxes look gorgeous out of plain, patterned, striped, whatever you want to do with it. Nice little message on the front there.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is gorgeous. And again, the key is featuring again.
I love that.
So we're going to show another couple of
Let's have
hearts
a look.
and then we'll
So,
open one of them then.
Another heart one, okay.
Should we go through the hearts and then the hexagons?
Here is another little one. So this has been done in our gorgeous
Love that paper.
rose gold heart paper. Absolutely love it. So here's one of those little closures that we've got on here. So it's a sort of very simple little closure that we have on that one. And then
You
layered
could
up.
put a little bamboo stick in to close
You
it,
could,
couldn't you?
Or even just a little
Bit of ribbon.
rolled up piece of paper.
Rolled up paper.
So yeah, you could match it with whatever cardstock or paper you'd use to make the box itself. And then look at this. This is just bling central. I love this. Classic
Stunning.
red, black and gold. And then that lovely panel up the side as well. And again, you've got that little padlock and key.
What about that very special ring sitting in there?
Indeed.
You know, whether it be engagement,
Mhm.
whether it, even if it's a wedding ring. What if you're going up the aisle, this little box is on a cushion with your two rings sat
Oh, that'd be
inside.
lovely. I like that idea.
Nice, isn't it? Or an eternity ring. Present your loved one with an eternity ring.
Or any nice piece of
Oh,
jewellery.
absolutely. I'm not...
Anything that you like to put in little boxes would work
Yes.
perfectly. So
Yes.
this is the Heart and Hexagon Split Box. So the split comes in. So this one's nicely, I don't have to undo any ribbon for this one.
That's what
So,
I thought. That would be a good one to show.
if we just unlock this little mechanism here, and you can see the box splits open, and then you actually have a second box on the inside that you can put all of your goodies into. And there's a couple of different ways this has been done. So with this one, you can see the heart panel has been left whole on the front, so the side sort of opens from it. And then let me find one of the others. Oh, not that one, because I'm never going to get that undone. That
This is
one
a little
split.
ribbon.
Oh, I'm going to have to undo this one.
No, that one's whole.
Bear with me just a second while I undo.
This
my
is a little
bit of
ribbon.
Is that one actually split on top though? I don't think it is it?
No.
No. Oh,
No,
I'm gonna have to
so we
undo
won't
this
open that one.
completely. Why did I do my ribbon so short? Anyone like to answer that for me? Answers
That
on
was
a
the
post.
kind of day you were feeling. A bit of a short ribbon
Apparently.
day, I think.
So yeah, talk amongst yourselves while I this way elevator
But you
music
could
comes back
also
in,
make...
right?
You could put 4 of the inner pieces together to make a little trinket tray
Yes.
to go on your dressing table. Or even 3 of them to make a shamrock.
Yeah.
Lucky shamrock for...
We do have St Patrick's Day coming up.
We
don't
do. And you could fill it with... What's the treats for St Patrick's Day? Think of
Maybe
something
Guinness?
green. Don't think you could slurp your Guinness out of
No.
there.
No. Okay.
I don't know. I'm thinking green sweets.
yeah.
Anything whiskey flavoured?
Yes.
Yeah, a bit of whiskey.
Yeah. That would be
Okay.
nice, wouldn't it?
Obviously, I moved my ribbon, so it's a little bit more stiff. Okay, as I was saying, it is a split box. So the other way of doing it is that you do have your split right down the middle, and then you have your little box inside as well.
The inner box could be glued in as well. on
It can
half
be,
of
yes.
It, couldn't
So
it?
you can glue it into one half so it doesn't actually fall out. So you'd glue into, say, one half of here so that it just opens around it, or you can have it so that you can take the box fully out as
Look
well.
at the layers inside that as well. That is gorgeous.
I was obviously on one that day. Look,
I think you
even
really
patterned
were.
the inside of that, both sides.
Beautiful.
I was obviously feeling overachieving.
And I love that colour scheme.
Yes, a lovely Coral Skies trend.
Absolutely.
Still using it. It's too pretty not to.
It is. And bits of it. There are parts of that in this one. And still in this one as well, with a gorgeous pearl coral on the inside there. Beautiful. So, let's move these out the way.
Have a look at some hexagons.
And then we'll show you some hexagons.
So like we said, the patterns on the hexagon box are slightly more masculine.
Or traditional.
Or traditional, yes.
Or traditional, I would say. So this one I think is a very, very traditional. Let's go this side.
Oh, yes.
Oh, that's
Love
close
that.
up, isn't it? A very traditional pattern. But again, I think depending on your colours would suit the feminine or the masculine. Very, very pretty. So we've gone all out Valentine here with some heart paper. Very pretty.
And you can see the two different closures on that one. So
Absolutely.
for the hexagon, your pattern at the top actually has a little notch in it. Is it one or two of the patterns that has that?
One of the pattern has a notch.
Yes, it does.
And the other is plain. So we'll show you how to make this now, and we'll show you exactly how the notches work. And it's not even a bonus. Notches.
It's not one, it's not, isn't it?
It's not. So this one, this was one of yours, wasn't it? And you saw a circuit board in
Exactly.
that.
This pattern just reminded me of a circuit board. So
But look at the holographic
bit
behind
of hollow
that.
waves, a little bit of limelight in there as well. Just with
Absolutely
the green.
stunning. But then we've gone all out girly again with our coral skies. Look at this. You've got a lovely tag that you can use as well, and that says, let me have a little read, just because. So it's on any occasion, whatever you fancy, and we always need an occasion.
We do.
Or not. Could be just because.
Could be just because.
And I would say with that box, even though you say it's girly, the pattern kind of takes it down a notch
Yes.
from
It does.
being too feminine.
It does. Yes, it does.
And
Absolutely.
you know, again, depending on what colour you do this in, it could lean either way, I think.
Yes. And that one is, it's got two little bees on there.
So yeah, this one is from Kate. She's done this one for us, and I love this. So she's
So
actually
pretty.
used shimmer powder for her panels. So this is what the panels behind are coloured with. You can see that there.
I
and then
love
all of
that.
these panels have shimmer powder underneath them. And this is the pattern that actually has the sort of notches cut into it, not that you can see it under here, for that closure across the top if you want to use that, or you can close it on the front edge as well. Really nice. And then I have another one. So this is using kind of a mix of patterns this time. So we've got that nice sort of geometric pattern on the top. And
It's very baroque, I think.
It is.
The edge pattern there.
And this little sort of floral, almost foliagey, I guess, pattern around the edge. But I really like that one with your little just because tag on there. And then last one I have, again, this is probably leaning a little bit more masculine just because of the colours, but it doesn't have to be. And
If you made it in pinks and pretty colours, then it would become very feminine as well.
It would. And all that lovely paper piecing.
It's gorgeous, isn't it?
Was that Karen overachieving that day? I think it was.
I think that might have been me.
Was that you?
I think that might have been me.
Of course it is, actually. Of course it is.
I think I
All of
left
that.
one panel because it was before I went on holiday.
Yes, that's right. And the paper piecing fairies finished it off for you.
They did. Oh, they marvellous, these fairies.
Our room is amazing.
Do you ever leave stuff on your desk and the fairies come in?
Probably not, actually, for most people at home. No, unless they have little pixies that will come and help them.
So there's a closure on the front here. So you could tie that into a lovely little bow. And again, the box opens. Oh, look at that nice shot there.
Wow, look at me. I
Isn't
don't
that
know what
good?
was wrong with me that day.
You got
Lined
that
both of them.
perfect. Perfect. So again, the box will come out. So if I move that out the way. Oh, am I going to get it out without undoing? No, maybe
Ooh,
not.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. But I've got one to show you. So you've got some lovely little tags. That one says surprise. We've got for you.
There's a love you on there. And then the big just because as well.
And they're all mix and match. So,
Do you want your dice set to refer to?
I may well do.
Okay.
I may well
Shall I
do.
bring that in for you then.
Let's have a little look then. I mean, there's no reason why you can't use the heart decorations on the hexagon box either. It's just your patterns are going to be a little bit different.
Yes.
But you can use papers, you can use whatever you've got in your craft room. So I'm going to show you how to make the hexagon box. So I'm going to do the inner part first. So if I show you exactly what I need to make the inner, it is 2 hexagons, 2 strips. Now the strips I'm using for this one, if I bring that down, it's this one, because you only need a tab on one side. So that's the one I'm using. So you need 2 of those. Okay, let's pop that back. And then obviously the hexagon, there's only one of them there. So we've used that. So fold all your crease lines first. It's always a good starting point, I think, because sometimes you can see the shape of the box come in, can't you, once you fold everything.
Yeah, indeed.
So there's my one side. Got a little bit of deluxe adhesive. So I'm going to glue the edges together. So obviously make sure all your tabs are facing the same way. That's generally a bonus. And then glue the other side. And the easiest thing I have found for this is just to push your base in. You can go around it and glue each one individually, but I find just popping your base in,
It helps to hold the shape.
it does, it does. So there we are. That is the start of my hexagon. So I'm going to put my lining piece in first. I've got my pattern paper.
So did you put your paper onto a piece of card to make it more sturdy?
I haven't for this one because it's quite a sturdy paper.
Nice.
But if it was a thinner paper, then yes, I probably would, because I would say this is possibly about a 180, 200 GSM.
So fairly weighty.
It is a fairly weighty one.
Nice.
So this then, just squeeze it inside and press down.
I love doing it this way because you make sure that your shape fits. Sometimes if you go around and do each one individually, you come to the last one and it doesn't quite line up properly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that is frustrating. So there's the base. So onto the base then.
Hide your workings.
Absolutely. And it gives a bit of strength to your box. So this one we can put a bit of glue all over. So press it on. There we are. Just give it a bit of a line up all the way around. Usually just running your finger around, you can tell, is there anything out of place? And then turn it over and press down. Sometimes if I'm putting things to one side, I'll put whatever is on my desk, a jar or whatever, just inside, just to weight it while I'm doing the next bit. But what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put some lining on it. So on the box I made, I haven't even shown you the box I made. Look, I've rushed into this. I'll put my layers on first. So I've got some layers here that I've already cut. So let me show you what I've cut first. I've taken the patterned layer and I've taken a black layer. So using the 2 dies, let's get this one out. So these are the smaller of the 2 layers because the ones that go on the outside of the box are slightly bigger.
That's it. So they're actually in the piece that you've used to make the panel. So
they
you
are.
can see which is which.
So the 2 of these, the one with the dots is slightly bigger than the plain one. So you've got a little bit of an outer edge. You don't have to have that, it's just a personal choice. So if I pop them back, you don't see the dots this way though. So my paper is a plain edge and my black card is a pattern edge.
I think it's got a little deboss line. Does it have? Oh no, it's just the
I think
line
it's
in
just
the middle.
the dots on this one. So it just gives a tiny little bit of definition.
Nice.
So we'll go around the inside of this because it covers your tabs. Because I've got a little mark on that tab, I don't know how.
Cutting this at lunchtime, are we?
I don't know,
Or
possibly.
maybe at Benzies.
Possibly. So we'll pop these inside. Again, you were hiding all your workings because you don't want to know everyone to know how you've made everything.
No, you want it to be
Unless you want to share your secret. So try and do this. Oh, I'm going to turn that around slightly. Pop it in centrally. I think I'm a little bit down on one side. Ooh. And now I've pushed it out.
And there is enough room in the box for you to put the layers on the outside of the inner box as well.
Absolutely.
And I think we've got double layers on some of them, so you can even, you know, if you want to do a pattern and a plain layer underneath.
Yeah.
There is enough sort of give around the outside of the box to do that.
So just work your way around. So I've layered all these up because you wouldn't have wanted to watch that. I think you'd have gone asleep.
And if you want to, you can always stick your layers on before you glue the
You
box
can.
together. Other than the two where the tabs obviously
You
glue.
can.
You can
Yeah.
do that beforehand. If you find it easier to glue your patterns on.
Sometimes you want to make sure they're all in that straight line, don't you?
Yeah, exactly.
Especially if you're on the outside of the box, I find, because you notices that much more. The pattern I've got here has got a little bit of a zigzag, so I'm making sure that I've got a zigzag on the top.
So your zigs and your zags are going the same way?
Yeah, so I wanted a little bit on all of them. Some have got it on both, but I wanted to make sure all the tops had a bit of zigzag on them.
Nice.
Yeah.
And using patterned paper is a lovely fast way to make a gift box as
Absolutely.
well.
Oh,
Still
if
have
you're
all
in
of
a
the
rush.
impact, but you don't have to cut all of the tiny little intricate patterns and back them. And
Well, sometimes the pattern isn't quite what you're looking for that occasion, is
Yeah.
it? And I think, you know, paper just goes with anything. If you wanted to make this for a child, you could find a pretty unicorn. You could stamp.
yes,
You could even stamp on these panels.
Well, like Kate's done here, you could just shimmer powder it. So I know
Yes.
she's used the shimmer powder underneath the pattern in sort of the front and the sides, but on the back she's just left that shimmer powder on its own, and you could absolutely do that
It is
all the way around if
gorgeous.
you wanted to. So yeah, have a look in your
Absolutely
stash and see what
gorgeous.
else you could use to make
Play
your
with
own
what you've got.
patterned paper.
So there's the inside of my box, all lined, all ready to go.
Very nice.
Again, you could do the outside as well if you wanted to, but I'm not going to do that today. So let's bring in the box that I've made and open it just to show you. There we go. So I'm going to take my tag off, and I've tied it twice because I wanted to make sure it was extra secure.
Special gift.
Absolutely. So there's my box inside. I didn't put a layer on the outside of this one, but that is how it goes together. So we'll pop them out the way for a sec, and we'll make the base of the box. So what you're going to need for this, you're going to need 8 half hexagons, and you're going to need 3 of the other panel that's got the 2 tabs on it. So this one. So we've got 3 of those, and you need the larger because there are 2 of these. The other one is your layer. So that's the smaller one. Oh, let me take this one off as well. That's your smaller one, which is going to make your layer inside. You need the largest, and that will cut your half box. So let's pop them.
I'll put them back on for you.
Okie dokie. Do you want that one as well?
Thank you.
There we are. Right, let's make a start. So again, I'm folding all my crease lines. The one thing you will need to do, you will need to cut off one of the tabs. So I'm going to do that before I start putting it together. I'll give it all a fold first. There we go. And the reason you're cutting off one of the tabs is because you don't need any tabs on the front of the box.
I love how simple these are to go together.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, hopefully you can see it's not taking me long. It didn't take me that long to cut it.
No.
And it's taken me even less time to pop it all together. So use your score line as your guide and just snip off your one tab. If that score line, if that cut line is not perfect, turn it around, pop it inside.
Hide it in the middle of the box, yeah.
Hide it. So do it like that. So that's what we'll do. Right, let me move them. I have got quite a straight line, but
I always like to hide the tabs I've cut off in the middle rather than having that as a free edge, because then you've got that nice slightly rounded edge from the die cut on the front.
Yeah, it gives it a nice finish.
Mm-hmm.
I should have tipped this upside down, this glue.
Oops.
I know, and I didn't. Right, so which is the one I cut?
It's obviously good if you can't tell.
I can't tell, I think it's that one. There we go. So again, make sure you're lining up to the score line. You don't want any gaps there, because that is going to change the shape of your box. So the next one now, turn it around. So on the front then, you have no tabs, and that is exactly what you're looking to achieve. There we are. Okay, and as you can see here, I'm not using a lot of glue. I'm using our fine tip glue applicators.
Precision lovely nozzles.
That's it. That's the one. And you don't need a lot. I think in our heads we think we need lots of glue. The more glue the better. But in actual fact that's not the case. It usually is less is more.
Yeah, you don't want it squidging.
You don't.
At the edges.
You don't. Okay, so there is our box for starters. So this half is one side, this half is the other. So I'm going to put my panel on the inside. So I've got right side up because I'm going to go from the inside. And the easiest way I found is to glue the middle one first.
Oh, okay.
I'm
I
being
went with the front
controversial.
edge,
Oh, did you?
so that I knew that that was perfectly lined up.
Oh,
edge.
right.
But it's all personal preference, however
Absolutely.
you would rather do it and
Because
however it makes
I
sense to you.
Curl this around. And I know then that that is in the right place. So if you can see that, it's all curling around. Make sure that glue is stuck. And I'm making sure that you know, when you're doing it like this, it's hard to see it. You're trying to show, but you still want to get your face in there to see where you're going.
That's it. And we don't naturally craft out here, do we?
We don't.
We craft up close and personal.
So because that one is perfect, the first one is perfect.
Mhm.
Oh, I pulled it out now. That's silly of me, isn't it?
Need to give it a minute to dry out.
I know, I'm not being very kind. So we'll pop some glue on the next one and then we'll be ready. So tiny little bit there. I'll bring that one around. And again, give your glue a couple of seconds to dry. There we are. Next one. Make sure there's enough on the ends.
It's always the edges of glue tabs, I think, that are the most important, because you want those to start lifting, because that's where it will peel.
The one thing with this, because I'm putting another layer on the bottom, you're not going to see those ends.
No. There's so much in it.
Absolutely. So that is one side of my box done. So the next one now, again, I'm starting in the middle. So take the centre, curl the others around as well so you can see that you're in the right place. There we are. Give that a press. What I would say is if you want to make the boxes that have got the larger top on them, I would still make it the same and then add the full size top on top of it. We'll show you what I mean now.
Yes.
Because I may be talking gobbledygook to you at this point.
So you'd still make it as the split. You would
I
just
would
then put
still
the
make
layer
it like this.
over the top. Yeah.
Little bit of pressure. There we go. Last one now for this side. And then we're going to flip it over then, and we're going to do exactly the same on the other side. So again, put it down, press. And that is the one side of your box. So I've probably not picked an easy colour for you to see actually. I am sorry. So
It's
the
a bit
same.
like a little Pac-Man, isn't it?
It is a little bit.
I've been thinking about the
is.
whole time. I've been waiting
Yeah.
on
Is
that what
to
you
bring
can
it
say?
up.
Yeah,
It is a little. It's like a not quite rounded Pac-Man. That's what it is.
I was
So
trying to think of how you could round it to make it into a Pac-Man.
Oh.
Just call it a pixelated Pac-Man. It's fine.
Yeah, yeah. And I was also thinking with the heart that they look like little angel wings when you open them up.
They do. They do. If you've got a little, like a little girl cut out, you could sit that down the middle, couldn't you? To make your little fairies. Imagine them for a little girl's party.
That'd be nice.
They could be little gifts for them to take home then, all the children. Right, so I've got wrong side facing me. So the right side is on the inside of the box, purely because I'm covering it. You may decide you don't want to cover it, and that is fine as well. So again, I can't show you at the moment, but flip it over and press.
Trust us. It's gluing inside.
Yes, there we are. It's just because I'm putting a little bit of pressure on it. Not enough, clearly.
Being very patient today, Anne.
I am, and I am not giving it enough time to glue.
Being mean.
I know. Right, I'm going to hold that and put some more glue as I'm waiting. There we are. And I'll do the other one at the same time then. So it's got a little bit of a chance to sink into the paper, into the card.
And to get a bit more tacky.
As we go, yes. So as you look at this, once you've lined it up, you've got no overhang. You can see that line there, it is perfectly straight. I put my finger there. So, I mean, maybe the first one you make, you may find it's not perfectly straight. But as you move on, and you've done a little bit of practicing, then yours
It's all
will
about
be...
getting the feel for it, isn't it?
It is, it is. And the first box we make of anything is never perfect,
No.
is it?
No.
You always need a trial box. So next one now, we're going to do exactly the same on the other side. So I think I'm going to put a bit of glue on all the tabs first. There we are. Last one. Oh, sorry about the scratching. It's a little bit of a blackboard moment, isn't it? Right, so bring in, again, wrong side facing upwards. And the only reason for that is because I'm sandwiching it. If you're only putting one layer, and you can do that, that's not a problem. But what I would say then is glue from the outside rather than the inside. But your box wouldn't be quite as strong, and you don't have a neat finish inside either.
And obviously with the sort of opening of this, you're expecting someone to kind of open and close it quite often. So you want it to be as sturdy as possible.
Exactly.
So the more layers, the better, really.
There we go. I mean, layers equal strength, doesn't it?
Exactly. You're multiplying your GSM every time you add a bit more on.
Exactly. There we go. So that is the first bit of our box all done. Back and front is exactly the same. Let's give that a press. So the next thing we're going to do now with the next 4 layers, these are going to go wrong side down. So your right side is up this time. A little bit of glue. Again, now I'm making doubly sure it's in the corners this time, because there's no second chance this time.
No. And I like this, by sandwiching those glue tabs, you're making sure there's no way they're going to sort of ping out.
They're not. There we are. Press it all the way around. There we are, there's one side done. Next one.
So with the hexagon one, have you gone with a 240 or a 300 for that one?
I've gone with the 240.
Mm-hmm.
It would possibly work with a 300, I think. But you wouldn't get quite as crisp.
No, on the edges, because it is a smaller box, isn't it?
Yeah.
I was just thinking, with the heart, I would probably even go down to a 216 for that one.
Yes.
Because you've got... So the way that you get the heart is joined on a glue tab at this point, isn't it? So you join your bits together. So I would definitely, because you've got these curves, I would go down to a lower weight cardstock, I think, for the heart.
I think anything that needs a fold like that, or a curve in anything, I would definitely go a little bit lower. Yeah. And then possibly add more layers or something.
That's it. So adding your panels and your patterns onto the outside is going to, like we say, multiply your GSM. But especially if you want to get that nice, crisp kind of cleft, I guess, in the heart in here. If you had a 300, you're not going to get that go in and then come back out and do that curve. So definitely a lower weight cardstock for your heart is what I would suggest.
I think
so.
I think so.
I think most of these are made in classic, looking at them. There's a pearl, so that's a little bit heavier.
Yeah. But as pretty as this is, and it is beautiful, you can still see where the tabs are.
Mm.
You see the tab there? Where if you look at this one,
you've kind of got a slightly smoother finish.
You don't see them as much.
Yeah.
You see the tabs going around.
So where the glue tabs are, it kind of squares off, and you'll find this with any curved box or anything like that.
Yeah.
The heavier your cardstock weight, the less it's actually going to curve where your glue tabs are. It's just naturally how cardstock works.
Absolutely. And when we do a curve, it's kind of weighing up how small can we get the tabs and how much curve can we get in it, because you don't want little curves, little tabs that are so small that they like teeth.
Because as soon as you try and curve it, they're just going to go ping, ping, ping.
Exactly.
And unglue themselves, and you don't want that either.
So it very much is a bit of a juggling act, isn't it? Right, so there is the last side of our box. So I'm making sure that everything is even. Even Stevens, yeah. There we go. So if we pop that inside, you can see that is the start of our box.
Lovely.
Now you have a choice to make. Do you want a layer that is flat like that, so your pattern has a straight edge, or do you want one like that where you've got a little tab on the top to hold it together? That's a decision you need to make now, because that will affect which pattern you use maybe, but also which top you use. Now I've gone with this one because I wanted the little curve in the top. If you are cutting this, don't forget, turn your die around when you're cutting it, because if we cut them both that way,
think about the directionality of your paper.
Yeah, you need to flip it, because other than that you won't get your pattern. So we'll pop this on top.
So with the pattern that actually is notched, which you can see here, it is actually reversed for you. So when you're cutting the pattern in,
Yes.
you don't have to worry about that. It's already been thought of for you.
There we go. So we pop this on. So a nice little outer edge there. Make sure we're all straight. And same with the other one. And then we've got some decoration then to go around the sides. So obviously now we've gone with the decoration that is in the bigger panel, because the panel is a bigger size. But you can still get that little layer again. The one with the dots on is slightly bigger than the plain edge.
Nice.
So there we are. So there's my layer. So I've got a tiny little bit of red on the outside. So I've reversed what's on the inside of the box. Because I had red paper on the inside with a black outer. And this time now I've got a white panel, white pattern, onto red and then onto black.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very Valentine's themed. Look at you going all hearts and flowers.
I know. What's wrong with me?
Love is in the air, eh?
Wow.
It is that time of year, I suppose.
We're waiting for spring, I think.
We are.
Waiting for spring to sprung.
That would be nice.
It would. Okay, so before I cut this up to me, pop your layers on. Work your way around your box. Make sure your hearts are all going in the same direction.
That's it, you don't want love to fall out of your hearts.
If you want that, yeah, you don't want the love falling out. Same as a horseshoe, isn't it? You can't hang a horseshoe upside down.
Definitely not.
Your luck will be gone. There we are.
You could just see the box gradually, with each layer, get closer to
Closer and
Alison.
closer to Alison.
I'm trying to line them up. That's what I'm doing. I am sorry. I am sorry.
It's just a natural thing that we all do, though. I mean, we all have our glasses on, but that's to see up close, not to see far away.
I'm trying to line them on the bottom and line them on the top. Oh, there's the layer.
Oh, you thought you'd lost it.
I thought I'd lost it,
still
and it's there.
Maybe
I went
we
and
need
cut
to,
another one earlier because I couldn't find it.
Maybe we'll move our overhead camera. Maybe that's the answer. We can't stop cutting, so we have to just move the camera angle instead.
Yeah, you can see in the middle of it Alison remembering to just suddenly bring it back to the
know.
camera. But you do that for like 2 seconds.
And
then I bring it back
yeah,
again.
you're like, oh, I should show it. And I was like, wait a second.
I am sorry.
We all do it. It's exactly the same for all of us.
There we are. Oh, turn that so they're all going the right way.
Almost lost your love.
I did. Can't be doing that. Last one. And then we can do the decoration then. Okay. So you decide now what sort of closure you want. You could use the closure from the heart. There is nothing stopping you. That one kind of wraps around, let me find it. That one wraps around the corner a little bit more. So you could use that. Or you've got a plainer one for the top. So you've got a little crease in the middle. So what I would say with this, it sits snugly into the middle there. And then you tie them up. I would say tie them first, then glue them down. Because then you know that they are in the perfect place. You can undo.
Is that a ask me how I know moment, is it?
Well, I didn't actually do it, but I thought of it as I was doing it. And I thought, oh, it would have been easier had I tied them together. So I'm going to do that.
Makes sense.
Yes. There we are. You can undo it after. There we are. Just tie them. Ooh, with a little knot. There we go. Line up your two little holes.
Bit further forward.
There we are. So line up your holes so they are together. Put your glue on the bottom. There we go. And if you hold this together, then the middle bit needs to go over the join. And that means you've positioned them both in the right place. Oh, it's over my ribbon. That's not what I want. There, you've probably got my head in the way now. There we are. Press the middle together so the two are joining. There we go. And then you can tie them together. But the other closure goes on the bottom. So I'll show you this one as well. And what I found is bring it back a little bit. Because the instinct is to fold it in the middle and to have the two little ends of the tab poking up. But what I found is if you bring them back a little bit, but you only glue up to the score line, and then they will tie your box tightly together. Other than that, it may splay a little bit. So go up to your score line, fold the end just slightly. So I've got a little bit of glue, and then I'm going to pop that down. You need your tab just to the edge of your box. If I move that, it's just slightly over, and that is all you need. Let's straighten that so we've got a nice closure. And the other one, do exactly the same too. Fold your tab, glue up to the score line only. The reason I don't want to glue over that score line is because I want a little bit of manoeuvrability to put the ribbon in.
And so you want it to be able to lift, don't you?
You do. Because other than that, you're not going to get your ribbon through. So let's have another little bit of ribbon. Ooh, cut it straight. And this can go through the bottom. There we go. Tie them together, little bow, and you're done.
Look at you tying a bow, like you can just do that.
2 bunny ears. Gotta be 2 bunny ears. So there's my little bow, but you've also got a little tag in here. So let's find a tag. So here's your tag. There's your outer. And then you decide, cut that first, and then decide then which word you want inside, because it'll fit perfectly. So you've got surprise and you've got for you. So I've gone with for you. So I've cut one just plain. I've cut one with for you, and I've also cut a little rectangle, and that is there. Now, this takes away the bulk, I think, of this. I think it's a little bit ingenious. So go around your wording with a little bit of glue. There we are. Pop in that little rectangle. So I'm going right side outwards. So that's my right side that you can see there. You could leave it like that, but
Hide your workings.
Hide your workings. And we're
I
going to
love this because it means you've got then that space around the outside to make sure the back and the front are glued together.
Absolutely, absolutely. So a little bit of glue on the back there. There we go. And you don't see the tag in the middle.
Yeah, otherwise
That's
normally
the
you see the
nice
kind
bit.
of down the edge, don't you? You see the extra colour that you've
You
wedged
do.
in between.
So look at that. That is, I know it's something simple, but I think that's very pleasing to the eye.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can pop this then onto our ribbon. Tie another little bow in it. And it's ready to go for that special person in your life.
Excellent.
Ooh, let's get my bunny ears right.
Oh, careful now.
Gotta get those bunny ears right.
Bunny's
There we
being
are.
unruly.
Absolutely. There we are. Don't that big a bow. That's it. Trim the end here. And we're done. So that is our split hexagon box.
Absolutely gorgeous. Thank you so much for showing us that one, Elle.
You're welcome.
Nice and easy. So this set is available now for you. In the UK it is £34.99 and in the US it is £36.99. As I said, there are 51 dies in this set, so it is an absolutely jam-packed set. You're getting your wallet and your magnetic sheet as well for storing, so a really good deal on that one, I think.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Don't forget, if you're a Tonic Craft Kit subscriber, you also get your 10% TCK code discount as well, which will be applied automatically for you at checkout as long as you are logged into the website. And of course, you can split the cost of your basket as well. So if you have put, this and a couple of things, maybe you want some cardstock, perhaps a bit of ribbon, spot of glue, obviously, always need glue.
Always need glue. You cannot run out of glue.
Definitely not. It would just be a travesty.
Gosh, when we think we're
Can't
running
imagine.
short in the office, we're
Our
like,
box
when's the
comes in.
delivery coming?
Yeah.
We get quite, how can I say, quite possessive about glue then, don't
And we
we?
hide it.
Yeah, I think there's times where I've come in and you like, have you got any glue in your room perhaps? No, I've given you every single bit of glue I've got.
We'll share when we have a delivery though.
Yeah.
We will
That's it.
share.
We're generous when we've got lots, but when we start to run out, we hoard.
We do.
Because you don't want to run out. Because what would you do if you run out of glue?
I
How
don't
would
know.
you craft? I'm not sure what we would do. So if you have added quite a few things to your basket, you can pay in instalments with Shop Pay, ClearPay, and PayPal, and Afterpay in the US as well, or Hubby Pay. I know a lot of our customers love to use
Love
Hubby
Hubby Pay.
Yeah, that's my preferred method as well. If I had a husband, obviously. Maybe we could have a husband that would pay for us.
Yes.
It's
That
the
sounds
future.
good to me.
It's the future. There we go. We'll just need a husband that pays for us.
Yes. I
Got
like
it.
that idea.
Got it. There we
I
go.
like that.
We have said already, but make sure you do tag us in your makes. I would love to see what you come up with these little boxes. I'm sure there are going to be lots of ideas of extending them and stacking them and all the rest of it.
I think so.
Tag us across social media using the hashtag #ShowTonic. We are at Tonic Studios on pretty much every social media platform going. And of course we have our official Facebook group as well that you can join and share to your heart's content and catch up with all of the crafty goings on around the office as well. If you have enjoyed this video, give us a quick little thumbs up. Make sure you share it with your friends, invite them into our community. Make sure you're subscribed to our channel too and hit that notification bell
Ting.
so you don't miss any content as we release it. And I can see you're eyeing up to say something else now, aren't you?
I am. Because I forgot to tell you. This box has the whole hexagon on the top.
It does.
And we didn't say how to do that. So again, you still make it the same as I've shown you there. But on top of that, you cut another whole hexagon. And just stick that on top of half the box. So the other half moves freely. And then it'll slot back in.
Little bonus tip for you if you've watched to
Couldn't
the
leave
end.
that, could I? Couldn't leave that.
Yeah. So that's your bonus for watching through all of our sales spiel as well. So thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you all again very soon. Happy crafting.
Bye.